Hey guys, we are going to talk about a skill on Thursdays today. This is 10 minutes working on a specific skill. We're talking about something with handstands inverted, a lot of stuff we can cover there. Today I'm just going to talk about handstand push-ups, some of the basics there. So the foundation of a handstand push-up is a regular push-up. So you want to be working on your regular push-up skills, arms staying narrow, elbows in, because that transfers to our handstand push-up. But let's talk about how you move into that inverted position. So one of the basic things is we call a pike push-up, or kind of a down dog push-up. So when you set up for this, the first thing we're going to talk about in all these is getting your ears between your arms. So your chin is tucked, all right, arms are straight, hands are about shoulder width apart, and my hips are nice and high. So the higher my hips are, the more I'm going to feel that inverted position. At the bottom, my head actually comes forward of my fingertips, right? So you can look at that bottom position, my forearms are vertical, and I push back to where I started. So what we want to avoid is coming straight down, right, or reaching out with our head. You're going to be touching the top of your head, and this position is important for transitioning into some of the more advanced positions. So once that starts feeling good, easy, we can go into some elevated foot position. So I just have this box here. Same concept. I want to get my hips nice and high, and my head once again is between my arms. At the bottom, head's forward, elbows are tucked in, push back to where I started. All right? So if you have really tight hamstrings, by the way, for each of these, if you put your feet wider, that'll help your position. All right? Once you start feeling good here, then we can start going to the wall. The prerequisite here is that you're comfortable kicking up to the wall, and you can start with a reduced range of motion. So I have this ab mat and some of these pads. I like this little trick. I use these pads because over time I can incrementally take them away, right, as I get better and deeper, and it provides a nice stable platform. So same exact concept that we just did the other two drills. You're gonna kick up to the wall, all right? Chin is tucked, arms against ears in between the arms. At the bottom, my head comes forward. I tap, push back to where I started. Okay? So that is the strict. As I get better, I go all the way down. But maybe you're curious about the kipping handstand push-up. So the kipping handstand push-up, same thing. You can do this with varying ranges of motion. Okay? I'm going to drop it down to the main normal range using just an ab mat. So let me show you the sequence. So same exact at the beginning. I kick up. All right. At the bottom, same position. Right. I'm resting on my head. Forearms are vertical, but here you're going to drop your hips to the wall, bring your feet down, and then you want to ideally load your hips up as well, so your feet actually come off the wall. And then you drive your legs up, time it with the press of the arms, and that's a kipping handstand push-up. So again, this is skill, that timing of kicking up. Get comfortable in that strict position first, and then you can work into some of the kipping, more dynamic stuff. So that's just some handstand push-up work. Have fun with it, and let's talk about the sweat conditioning. Okay guys, there's gonna be a two-part conditioning. The first part is a 10-minute EMOM, alternating two movements. We're gonna do 50 double unders and 18 alternating dumbbell snatches, right? So you work, rest the remainder of the minute, alternate movements. So you're gonna do each 5 times. Then we're gonna rest 3 minutes and do a little running wall ball workout. So let's talk about the movements. We have the dumbbell snatch. So dumbbell snatch, you're gonna start between your feet. At the bottom, both ends of the dumbbell touch the ground. Think chest up like any Olympic lift. We're gonna drive from the legs so the dumbbell's locked out overhead, okay? The most efficient way is to switch the dumbbell when it's in the air overhead. So if you like to look up at it, you can, or if you're comfortable with the feel, you touch and go off the ground, okay? When you do it this way, it reserves energy through the hamstrings and is a little bit quicker, less work. If you're not comfortable switching in the air, you're tired, you're gonna come to the ground and switch here. So you just go overhead, back to the ground, switch arms at the floor, all right? So again, challenge yourself here with the weight. It's gonna be 9 each arm, 18 total. Rest the remainder of the minute. You should be able to do all these reps unbroken. All right, from there, we're gonna go to our double unders. So 50 double unders is it's like a classic number to try to be able to do unbroken. So I'd say choose something here that you can work on and get it done in about 30 seconds or so. All right, if you need to work some singles in between, that's fine. We want to prioritize good position. So the main things we talk about are keeping the chest tall. All right, so if you see from the side, my chest is upright. We don't want to drop the chest. The other is keeping the arms in and using our wrists, right? So if you watch from the front, you'll see my arms are at my side and I'm using my wrists to drive the rope. All right, so working on those things, feel free to work just singles and then try to get a double under in between. And if you don't want to worry so much about how many reps you're doing each round, just think practice for 30 to 45 seconds and then rest before you go to the next. So we prefer that you practice some type of double unders versus only doing singles. And again, this is a skill to work on over time. So have fun with that. From there, we rest 3 minutes, and then we go into a running 200 meter 20 wall ball. So let's just talk about the wall balls. The priority in the wall ball is the squat, okay? You can scale how high you throw it, but the priority is the squat. So when you set this up, all right, you should be looking up at your target, whatever that may be, 9 foot, 10 foot, all right? Focusing on keeping the chest up the entire time, so at the bottom, I'm still looking at the target. We see a lot of people, particularly they get tired, they'll catch the ball, and they'll end up like this, okay? Now my hips are not in a squat, and I'm in a bad throwing position. This is heavy on my arms, okay? So we want to be able to stay supported. Good squat, drive from the legs. One into the next, okay? So prioritizing the squat in that position. You can scale the weight of the ball. You can scale how high that you throw it, but really prioritize that as your most important point when you're thinking about how to scale this workout. So that's it, guys. Have fun today. We'll see you tomorrow.